Greetings, my friend. Thank you for joining me. Joining me for this little video series that I call Postures of Life. I also have some articles that go along with it that are available on forselflove.weebly.com. My name is Aaron Cesare. I'm a 200-hour yoga teacher. I teach at the yoga room in Niles Girard area of Ohio. I also teach chair yoga at a nursing home and yoga for recovery. So, this is the final entry in the Postures of Life series, and it is Savasana pose. Savasana pose is what all the other postures in a yoga sequence usually leads up to. Savasana is a pose where we become much like a corpse. And what I mean by this, not putting aside all the morbid realities of it and trying to focus on the final stages of not just life, but also stages that happen every day throughout our lives. We we go through a process of beginnings and endings and the littlest things. A breath, for instance, we inhale, that is the beginning. We may retain for a time, that is like the middle, and then we let go because it's natural to do so, that is the ending. And then we have faith that the breath will begin again. And in Savasana, or corpse pose, it is very similar. We experience the sequence that comes before, and then comes Savasana. And we let it go gratefully. We can rest knowing that we did good work. We built up some energy, and we felt the exertion of it. We felt the movement of it, and we may find ourselves, depending on the sequence, very tired. We may need Savasana, very much so. We may need it to just relax and to be fulfilled, to have a full yogic sequence. When I do try to have sequences, especially at the yoga room, that is for those who have been practicing yoga for a while, that are in their body, that are ready for a more physically enduring sequence. I introduce more energetic movements and more movements in general, just to get the body working. So then when we do come to Savasana, we do relax fully and deeply. In this sequence, it's been more of a beginner sequence, so there is a buildup of energy, but it is not quite as much as in the other sequence that I teach publicly. So this sequence can also be good for letting go of different things that happen in our lives. Maybe we become angry in a situation, we find it hard to let that anger go. This pose can help us just come to a sense of peace, a sense of centeredness and harmony within. We can just gradually let the emotions go that we've been holding on to, that are sort of poisoning our efforts to find peace and serenity within, to find happiness in life. This is a pose where we can just sit and be with ourselves and hopefully allow ourselves to rest completely, to be in a state of peace just by allowing it to happen. That's all that is needed. I'm not going to say it's always very easy, but it is possible. I've experienced both sides. I've experienced the unrest of a busy mind, of an anxious mind, and an angry or perhaps arrogant mind. And then I have experienced peace of a mind that has surrendered to the state of life and how it is to just being in the present moment. So it could also aid you in a grieving process. I found that recently I lost my cat of 10 years. I'm not quite sure where he is exactly. And I'm very grateful for all the time we spent together. But he has gone away somewhere. And I've tried over and over again. In fact, I'm still trying to search for him. But it is possible that he may not return, at least in a physical sense. His energy that he has shared with me, all those warm, cuddly moments, those still live on through me and have changed me into a better person, a gentler person, more considerate, more kind person. So thank you so much, Kitty, for all those experiences. And I honor you by living my life, continuing on, becoming one with peace once again, even though it is time for you to move on, at least for a time. Maybe you're taking a vacation. That, that is very possible. The weather is very nice. So he was a stray cat. Maybe he decided he wanted to go out adventuring again. And that's what Savasana can help me do. And I can hope it can help you in similar processes. Just become at peace with how things are, even when they don't seem to match up with our our ego, our small self's idea of what should be and shouldn't be. So, for this pose, it's very simple. We just allow ourselves to recline back onto the mat. So I put my feet on the ground like so, turn if I'm faced in a way that's not to the long ways of the mat. And then I just recline back onto the mat like so, arms down by my sides. Palms could be up or they could be down. It is really up to us and our preference. When they're down, we could feel more grounded, and when they are up, we could feel more like receiving knowledge and energy from the atmosphere, from the universe around us. And here we are just trying to become more grounded, feel more grounded, um, secure in ourselves and who we are, more stable. So, whatever is appropriate for you today. I usually like to have my palms turned up. So, when we are in Savasana, there are different things we could do. We could have something to support our head, a small pillow, but something that won't make it too difficult to have a nice straight spine, as we will be here for a while. Normally, of course, you may choose to have as long or short a Savasana as you would like to do. And sometimes it is hard on our lower back too, so you can always have your legs up like this, or even support them with some kind of pillow so that they're not quite all the way down, but a little bit up. So putting that pillow under those knees. So we can also choose to have a blanket with us. Perhaps it is cold. The weather is pretty nice right now, so it's pretty heated in the house. um, just because of the weather outside. But we can always choose to put socks on. I think I'm okay without socks. And we can also choose to cover up with a blanket. This could just help us relax more. Um, we might feel that we are cold, but sometimes I like the comfort of a blanket because it feels like resting. It feels like relaxing, and it isn't too hot in here. So I'll go ahead and use a blanket. And then when we are settled into Savasana, then we can begin the process of relaxing our mind and our body more fully and more deeply. There are several ways that we can do this. I'll go ahead and point out a few. So the first way we can do this is just by coming into the body, by becoming aware of the many places we are in contact with the earth below, and try to feel our body letting go, relaxing, letting go of tension if we're holding on to something either mentally or physically, not trying to hold a body part in place in a particular way. Like, for instance, maybe we feel that our foot should be turned a specific way. Well, just I I invite you to just let it fall open, however would feel natural. Don't feel that you have to appear to be in a certain position in Savasana. It's just about relaxing and letting go. So you could adjust your position however would feel comfortable for you and your body. The most important thing in this pose is just to allow yourself to let go, to be free, to be liberated of stresses and anxieties, worries, things that have been kind of holding your spirit in a place of restriction, kind of kind of putting your spirit in a cage almost. In Savasana, you can allow yourself to just open open the door in that cage and allow yourself to be free, to be liberated, to feel weightlessness in the spirit, maybe in the mind, and also a sense of groundedness in the body, as you do feel so close to the earth below. And sometimes you may feel like your body even wants to kind of sink into that earth below, kind of settling down even further and further into relaxation. And I invite you to allow this to happen. Don't put any restrictions on your relaxation in this pose. Something else we can utilize to help us is the breath. Just becoming used to the breath as it flows in and flows out as we inhale and exhale, nice and easily and gently, just allowing the process of breathing to happen. Something you may wish to share with yourself. Here is just a little word, phrase. It could be considered an affirmation, but I almost feel this is more of a mantra, because it has more of a kind of connected to the spirit feeling to it, more becoming one with all that is kind of spirit. There's a very spiritual nature to it, I guess, is why I like the word mantra. Somehow it focuses my mind toward the spirit and becoming one with the spirit. I guess because it seems like a very special spiritual word. So the mantra is, as I breathe in, I relax deeper and deeper still. And as I exhale, I do the same. As I inhale, I relax deeper and deeper still. And as I exhale, I do the same. Continuing on and on with this, you might do it aloud or mentally is quite adequate. And as you are resting and relaxing, something less of the active feeling might be better. So just doing it within your mind, thinking that you're relaxing deeper and deeper still with every breath. And then as you exhale, do the same, just relaxing deeper and deeper still with every breath. That might be even simpler, even more welcoming to just have that phrase in your mind of relaxing deeper and deeper still with every breath. Over and over again as you feel comfortable in doing so. Something else, another method that has helped me both in meditation when I'm upright and seated with a nice straight back, and when I am in Savasana, hopefully with a nice straight back as well. Visualization. The visualization, there are a couple that I kind of like. The first one that I use most often is the visualization that there are clouds drifting by as I gaze. And I find myself not just as some incarnate being that is gazing down on earth, but actually the sky. One with the sky, the ever present existence of spirit that exists in the sky. And I am observing all these clouds that are flowing by or moving past. I'm observing as they form themselves from the vapor, from the elements of the universe, as they move through changing shape in various forms, sometimes subtly, sometimes drastically. And then as they dissipate, as they become formless once again, as they once again return to the essence of the universe. And I observe this happen over and over again. And it is very easy to compare this to thoughts and feelings, sensations, different situations in life, different relationships in life, the comings and goings of people, of pets. There is a beginning. As we form those relationships, we just meet, we say hello, and then we live side by side for a time, experiencing each other's company. Hopefully pleasant, sometimes maybe not so pleasant. Maybe there's some kind of drama happening that isn't preferable by one side or the either or both sides. And then comes the parting of the relationship, whether they pass away or whether they just move on to some other place in life that is calling them to do so, that we cannot follow. And this process goes on and on throughout our lives in small ways as well, like through the breath, like I explained earlier. And it even follows throughout our thoughts, We form an idea from seemingly nothing. from space. We have some inspiration somehow, and it comes into being. And then that thought stays with us for a time. And then it is time for that thought to move on. Perhaps we forget it. Perhaps it is just something we need to let go of because it no longer serves us in some way. It just needs to move on, much like those relationships, much like the breath as we inhale. It moves through our bodies for a time and then we exhale because soon it will be time to start a new breath. Watching the clouds blow by in the sky, visualizing this in our mind's eye, or perhaps actually being in nature watching it as it happens, we can associate this with that process. The process of beginnings, middles, and endings, of the continuous nature and the illusion of the incarnate life, especially when it does bring us pain. I find it is important to see it as something that isn't real in the sense that anything disappears, anything goes away. Everything is just changing shape and changing forms, moving from one experience to another. And soon enough, the similar elements that have thought to have been lost from a party will come back again into our lives in some way, shape, or form. It's it's all our perspective and being able to widen widen our vision of life, widen our vision of the spirit, of how energy is transferred from one stage to another. And eventually, with time and patience, we can come to see this great revelation of life, of living, of being within the spirit. We can come to the true nature of all being, and we can be at peace, we can be happy and joyful in all situations and all times in our life as it unfolds and as we ourselves do return back to the spirit, as we gradually unfold, we kind of blossom in our life and gradually we let go and return. Easy breath in, easy breath out. Always trying to remind myself to be at ease and to be gentle with the breath as the breath guides the process of relaxation as well as all other processes in life. A good healthy breath can help us have a pleasant, peaceful, joyous, grateful situation wherever we may find ourselves. It's always as close as the next breath. So, another visualization might be to just enjoy your pleasant, most pleasant place to be, wherever that happens to be. It could be inside somewhere, maybe your room, or it could be a place in nature, maybe a garden, maybe under a nice shady tree in a warm summer day or spring day. I often like to think of myself outside, just enjoying the pleasant weather, enjoying the sun as it soaks into my body, rejuvenating me, enjoying the fresh air as I breathe it in and out of my lungs, feeling nature around me, maybe birds chirping, squirrels busy, gathering nuts, insects busy, gathering pollen, moving from flower to flower. whatever would be a pleasant, happy place for you to find yourself within. Visualizing that within your mind's eye can help relax you further and further still. And you can always recall that phrase, that mantra. I relax deeper and deeper still with every breath. And then there's also a process that is, it has some relationship to visualization and also has some relationship to body awareness. It is known as body scan. In this process, there's two benefits that I really believe that I experience. The first benefit is that I just get to know my body and what is it experiencing moment to moment in different pieces and parts. And in this sort of way, I'm more likely to find different ways to accommodate those pieces and parts of my everyday life, to be more kind and more gentle, compassionate, and understanding to those pieces and parts within the lifestyle that I live out, how I move through my day, whether it be carefully or not so carefully, with more attention, more awareness to different body parts. I can find that I do move in a way that's more careful, more considerate of those body parts and their ability to function well. And also another benefit is to rest and relax the mind as I concentrate my attention onto a body part. As we follow a sequence, an order in observing those body parts, my mind becomes lost in this observation and it becomes apart, at least for a time, from the small egoic self, and it frees and relaxes me. So, with that said, I would like to introduce you to the process of body scan. First, I invite you to draw your awareness to the right big toe, then second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and pinky toe, moving to the sole of the foot, top of the foot, sides of the foot, the heel and the ankle, the shin and the calf, the knee, top, sides, and underside, the thigh, top, sides, and underside, to the right side body, the hip, pelvis, groin, and buttocks area, the abdominal wall in front and lower back, mid back, upper back, shoulder blade, the right chest area, the right shoulder and armpit, the upper arm, bicep, and tricep, the elbow, top, sides, and underside, the forearm and the wrist, the right hand, the thumb, index, middle, ring, and pinky finger, gliding up the right arm to the right neck area and the right neck side, to the head side, the right ear, the face side, the jaw and the chin, the mouth and the nose, the eye and the brow, the forehead to the top of the head, moving to the left side, the face side, the forehead, the eye, the brow, the nose and the mouth, the jaw and the chin, head side, left ear, neck side and neck area, left shoulder and armpit and upper arm, bicep and tricep, elbow, top, sides, and underside, the forearm and the wrist, the left hand, the thumb, index, middle, ring, and pinky finger gliding up the left arm slightly and down to the left side body, the chest area, the upper back, shoulder blade, mid back, lower back, abdominal wall in front, the hip, pelvis, groin, and buttocks area, the thigh, top, sides, and underside, the knee, top, sides, and underside, the shin and the calf, the ankle, the heel, the sole of the foot, top of the foot, sides of the foot, the pinky toe, fourth toe, third toe, second toe, and left big toe. And then uniting all the body parts together as a whole, taking the feet, the legs, the hip, pelvis, groin, and buttocks area together as the lower body, taking the torso, the shoulders, the arms, and the hands together as the upper body, uniting them with the neck and the head, the lower and upper body, forms the entire unity of the body. Easy breath in, easy breath out. Through this observation of the many within the one, of the great multitude within the unity, we observe something very special, very, very connected, connecting to not just ourselves and how we function within, how our happiness and health is contributed by the happiness of health of our many pieces and parts, but also the universe and the world around us. It is created in much the same way, for we know that we are one of the many pieces and parts of the world, of the universe. And would it be such a stretch to also understand that the universe and the world, likewise as us, desires health and happiness above all, and as it is aware of its pieces and parts and how they contribute to the larger goal of health and happiness within itself. Wouldn't it provide situations for health and happiness for all those pieces and parts of which we are included in our lives? Wouldn't we be given opportunities to move to our greater good, our best versions of ourselves, being provided and being watched over by a much greater intelligence than our own, just as we observe our body pieces and parts, we do our best to guide, to provide situations for their greater health and happiness. So does the universe caretake for us, because the universe, because the world desires health, happiness, peace, and harmony, equilibrium, balance. These are all desired by the world around us, by the universe, by the nature of life. Is this such a far-fetched thing to to believe, to know, to understand, as we do the same within ourselves? Easy breath in, easy breath out. I invite you to feel a sense of groundedness, of security, not just in this posture, but also in the awareness of being connected to the state of all living beings, the state of becoming, becoming one with love, with happiness, with health, with peace and understanding and compassion, harmony and balance, equilibrium, equality, equanimity. Easy breath in, easy breath out. Something else we can do at the very end of our practice to help us gain just some more relaxation before we move on to what is ever next is to begin a countdown of relaxing breaths. So this countdown is done by choosing a number. It could be any number you feel comfortable with doing so. I like to choose the number 15. So, for example, I would breathe in 15, exhale 15. I would inhale 14, exhale 14. I would continue in this fashion till I get to 1, and then I would gradually emerge. And if I should lose track of count as I'm counting down to that number 1, I would simply begin again at the number 15, and I would move out of that count and begin to awaken my body whenever I would feel appropriate to doing so. A large part about the yoga practice is just becoming aware of your needs moment to moment. When it is time to move back into a more active, more energetic state, well, allow yourself to do so. Don't feel you have to stay in a state of relaxation and effortlessness forever. Sometimes this is a necessary process of life. So allow your body to reemerge into a wakeful state whenever you do feel it is appropriate to do so. So I'll go ahead and share some silent breaths with you for a while as I find myself counting down and getting ready to emerge once again into a more active state. Very good. And when you are ready to do so, I invite you to wiggle fingers and wiggle toes to stretch body parts as would feel appropriate when emerging from a rest, perhaps taking an example from how you awake in the morning, and then rolling to your preferred side. And when ready here, you can take a nice inhale in as you emerge up into a seated position. And exhaling as you find yourself once again in a nice, comfortable, seated way. A nice straight spine, nice healthy breath, of fully feeling a sense of clarity and awakeness and relief in the previous state of deep relaxation. When you are ready to do so, I invite you to press hands to heart center, to bow the head, and to say a word that means my inner light honors your inner light. That word would be namaste. I invite you to share gratitude for your body, thankfulness for carrying you through this practice this day, for the ground for supporting you through the practice, for vital breath for carrying us all through life's ebbs and flows, different situations and activities, for uniting us together, connecting us into one great state of being, that we might learn and understand each other, become compassionate and loving, and build a happy, joyful society and world, to be at peace with the beginnings, the middles, and the seeming endings, knowing that this is just a continuation, a change in form, a change in state of energy, that there is no true nothingness, no true ending. It is all, it is all always just moving through different processes, different states. Thank you so much for being here today with me, for practicing with me today, my friend. Thank you. This is the final postures of life, and it will be maybe a time for me to do some more domestic things, some chores for the summer. So I'll try to come back with another weekly video, but it won't be quite as lengthy as these have been. Thank you so much again for being here. I also want to share gratitude and gratefulness for Annalisa Cunningham. Annalisa Cunningham is the author of a book on yoga and recovery, and she also has written this article that I found the sequence for yoga and recovery that I pulled so much from for postures of life and my sequences that I teach at the recovery facilities. It is not quite the same as it was within the article, but there's so many things that I still do use. Like, for instance, the affirmations. A lot of the affirmations are still the ones that Lisa put in her article. I just want to share my gratitude, my gratefulness for her and her contribution, because it has helped me to bring you, my friend, something that I hope was beneficial and special to you. So easy breath in, easy breath out. Sharing gratitude with you. Thank you so much, my friend. Have a wonderful day. God bless you, and namaste.